All right, guys, we are here at the last day of the Natchez show, and I'm here with the world-famous collector Bill Wright. How you doing, Bill?
I'm fine. How are you, Travis?
Great. So you always bring a wonderful collection to whatever show that you come to, and always enjoy seeing your knives. You've got a fantastic collection, and I know all of our viewers are going to enjoy seeing these. Bill, tell us what really got you into collecting knives?
You ask me questions I can't answer.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
I've been interested in knives and guns since the age of 6 years. And I don't know what fascinates me about both. And I guess I really like knives better than antique guns. But I guess I can't tell you what got me interested.
Gotcha.
Just a natural interest.
It's just, you were just born with it.
Born with it, yeah.
Sure. So
Yeah.
what would you like to talk about today?
Today I'd like to talk about this knife right here.
Oh yes, I recognize the maker of that. We're going to go ahead and put a little light on the subject here when we get down here.
There we go.
We can see that a little better. So who do you believe made this?
This knife certainly was made by James Black of Washington, Arkansas.
Tell us
Which
why.
I think there are only 12 knives known. There's a new one that has just been known, but I have not seen it. So that makes 13. One thing that makes this knife very important is that it belonged to a Colonel Matthew Leeper. And he was a colonel in the Confederate Army, and before that in the U.S. Army, and after the war, again in the U.S. Army. He was an Indian agent, and he was the sole survivor of a massacre of Indians. And it was reported that the only thing he escaped with, his Indian friends woke him up in the night, and the only thing he escaped with, according to history, was a blanket around him. Now I suspect that knowing he was going into the wilderness, he grabbed the knife on the way out the door. And as you can see, the knife is very well used, and sometime throughout its history it's had a crossguard added. One of the things that makes it so very important is the fact that Matthew Leeper lived in Washington County, Arkansas, not Washington City, Arkansas. And this is only the second of all the knives that can actually be traced back to Arkansas.
Is that a name on the escutcheon right there?
Yes, that's his name.
That's his name right
Yes.
there. Let's turn this around, see if we can't get a shot of that.
It's very hard to read.
Yeah.
And I usually bring, I didn't have room, a blow-up of that name.
Yeah, that's hard to get.
It is very hard.
Yep.
And I don't want to polish the silver. So.
No, absolutely not. We'll see if I can snap some photos and we'll put that in the video as well. That is a great piece. And this is like a, these James Black knives, they always had this like a really burly, is that like a...
That is one of the
walnut?
traits of the James Black knife.
Sure.
And supposedly the tree that all of his burl wood knives came from is still standing today in Washington.
In Washington.
Yeah.
So they think they know what
And
tree that is.
Yeah, because they know where his shop was. And
Right.
this tree was next to his shop. And the tree is dying, but it's a great, huge, big tree, which pieces fall off of. And I'm sure
Wow.
he used the pieces that fell off.
Gosh.
But all of his knives have that burl,
Yes.
heavy burl wood.
Wow, what a fantastic
And
find.
as you can see, they originally had silver pins with collars.
Yep, absolutely.
And throughout the years, the collars have come off.
Yep,
And like I
for
say,
sure.
this knife is well used
Oh,
and
yeah.
loved.
Absolutely.
But still has a lot of use in it.
Of course. Yep.
The sheath, certainly James Black didn't make. This kind of snap, I think, could go back to the 1870s, 1880s.
Gotcha. Yep.
The knife probably had many sheaths during its lifetime, but that's
Sure.
what with it now.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I think it's not only very important because it's one of the few James Black knives, but because it belonged to an Army officer in the U.S. Army, the Confederate Army, and that he lived in Arkansas.
For sure.
So there's a black connection.
Yep.
Now, I have not been able, because I don't know how, to do a genealogy thing. His wife is Lucy Washington, who I believe was from Washington, Arkansas. And if I can prove that, that will put Leeper in Washington, Arkansas, buying a knife directly from James Black.
Gotcha. That is incredible. Well, Bill, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're very welcome.
That is a wonderful piece, and congratulations on obtaining it, and some great job on the history.
Yes, it is.